Go ahead and call the meeting to order at 7:03 PM. You stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I move to approve the agenda with the addition of resolution 0224 OPRD grant application for East Side Park Development Phase 1 and 6D resolution 324 OPRD grant application for Heiberger Park restrooms.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's Doug online?
He is
No. Okay, agenda is approved. Moving on to presentation, proclamations and visitors. Is there anyone online?
No, but we do have a presentation from city staff.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm gonna start passing that around. You guys can take a look. Okay, so I've been asked to come to present this award to council today. We received it from OFEA, so the Oregon Festival and Events Association, for fundraising event of the year. OFEA is composed of event producers, sponsors, entertainers, volunteers, vendors, suppliers throughout the state. They provide an event calendar that's statewide, produce a monthly electronic newsletter with articles, tools, and solutions. And finally, they have an annual conference, which I attended a couple of weeks ago. I want to inform you guys on a couple of the classes that I took that I found really beneficial. So the first one, A Tale of Two Unfortunate Incidences, which highlighted the importance of safety plans for events in case of emergencies. So I'm currently working on an outline for an emergency plan for Corn Festival to take to Ron, and if approved, give to local emergency responders for approval as well. The next one, an open forum. I was able to ask questions from very seasoned professionals about our parade and how to build it more. So I made some connections with the Lebanon Strawberry Festival. Their parade has about 140 entries every year. So I have a good connection and some good ideas to kind of build that up a little bit more this year. Next one, managing your sponsorship program effectively with free tools and sponsorship activation, crafting assets that land lucrative deals. These two classes opened my eyes to the work we could and I hope to include in future sponsorship efforts and what the Corn Festival has to offer. Boost your event reach and part 1 and part 2 of ins and outs of digital event marketing. So these 3 classes gave me some great free resources as well as very low cost resources to help show visibility in surrounding areas, not only in Aumsville, Salem, but that could reach up to Portland. Small changes to how we do things will make waves of impact. The final class I took was best practices for managing and building vendor relationships. This was super insightful, so much so that I gained knowledge on building a vendor handbook that protects the city and the Corn Festival processes and outlined in detail what the festival needs and expects from vendors. This conference was very valuable to the city, and I would hope we can continue attendance in the future. Again, the award for fundraising event of the year, and we dedicate it to all the staff and volunteers that help us put it on every year.
That's awesome. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Moving on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The consent agenda is approved unanimously. Number 4, public hearings. There are no public hearings tonight. Number 5, old business. There is no old business. Number 6, new business. Public Works Facility soft cost. We'll now have staff present.
That you, Steve?
I wasn't sure who it was gonna be.
Surprised that I'm here tonight. Matt had to pick off for a medical emergency, so. We found that, our contractor can get our equipment and supplies on the list here for a much better price than what we can get it for. So we just wanted to let you guys know what we were doing and what those costs are gonna be roughly. And they do more of the work. They line it all up, they get it delivered. We don't have to mess with it. So it makes it a lot easier on us and, they get it here at the right time. That's really about what the whole thing's about.
Do they set it up and everything?
No, they'll get it here, but,
Get a bunch of pallets then.
most of it is stuff that they're gonna set up, but we're gonna, for shelving and stuff, we'll be doing that. However, we decide to arrange it.
Is there a motion?
I move to approve the RA grade change order in the amount of $74,286 as presented by staff.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Moving on to, I said this wrong last time. Culpepper?
Culpepper
Culpepper
and Marywood.
and Meliware, the agreement. Ron?
Hi, council. Good evening tonight. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we approved our event contract, which separates liability, provides the space for the circus to attend. They have a contract related to how funds are distributed and how payment is made. Basically, they want to outline some sort of an agreement for ticket sales. And to some extent, I felt like I needed to come back to council with this just because it is an agreement to, so to speak, and I felt council had to actually approve it. But basically, this just outlines the price of the tickets, how the arrangement is made, how payment is made, that kind of stuff. I spoke with Josh Hoyer, our finance officer, and he didn't see an issue with us being able to receipt in the funds and have a separate line item to account for the funds and then distribute the funds. Typically, we don't like to distribute funds in cash, which is what they request, what the request is. It's just the business model they have because they're gonna tear down the circus and then leave, and they're gonna be gone. They don't typically hang around. They go from point to point. But pending our city attorney review, we can do it within the constraints of the contract with staff. And I've also sent this out to the city attorney to make sure they're fine with it. Happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Ron? Is there a motion?
I move to approve the Culpepper and Merriweather Circus Payment Contract as presented by staff.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to 6C, resolution number 02-24. OPRD grant application for the Eastside Park Development Phase 1.
Hello again. So this first one, let me make sure I have the right one in front of me. For the East Side Park Development Phase 1 is, we just went over this today with Dave Kenny, our city planner, or not our city planner, our what's the word? Advisor, essentially. What's that? Consultant. Thank you. That's the word.
Yeah.
Our planning consultant. And we were reviewing the different options for what we can include. So essentially, we're going to have at least one parking lot, a pathway, And then either nature play park area or multi-use field, depending on what the costs are. So we're working on getting the final estimates for that now. Basically, what we have for you today with the resolution 0224 is approval for us to apply for this grant with OPRD, Oregon Parks and Recreation Department, for the record. And so, yeah, that's the first one for this, and happy to answer any questions you might have.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
I move to approve resolution number 02-24, authorizing and supporting the city of Aumsville application for Oregon Parks and Recreation Department's large grant for phase 1 development of East Side Park as presented by staff.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. 6D, resolution 03-24, OPRD grant application for Heiberger Park restrooms.
So essentially the same thing. This one is going to be for Heiberger Park. A few years ago, there was an application through OPRD for restrooms and for workout equipment along the pathway. We didn't get that grant, and we did consider applying for all of that this time as well. The chances of us getting both of these grants are probably low. We're not sure because they do have quite a bit more funds available in the grant bucket this year. But we did want to increase our chances by giving a more feasible, lower cost option. So for just the restrooms is what we're applying for this time. That way we're more likely to have at least some funding out of the deal. So that's what this application is for. Again, same thing, just approval for applying for the grant.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
I move to approve resolution number 3-24, authorizing and supporting the city of Aumsville application for Oregon Parks and Recreation Department large grant for Heiberger Park improvements as presented by staff.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to number 7, city administrator report.
All right, thank you, council. I don't have a lot to report on, but I do have a couple of things just to discuss with council. The Public Works and Police report are in your packet. I'm not going to go over those, but as you can see, our departments are busy keeping everything running appropriately. We did receive our recertification as a tree city. And so that's great. We've met all the criteria. And so we continue that that program in the city. So I just wanted to let council know we did recertify. I know Steve touched on it a little bit with the soft costs. Soft costs are those things that are not associated with the build for our public works facility, which you approved tonight. It was just easier for us rather than to try to put out multiple small project bids to work through the contractor with those. But the project's moving along fine, and as soon as it's done, we'll put council together. We'll set a date and advertise and do kind of a public tour out there. I think it would be good for both the council and community members who want to come tour the building to be able to do that and see where those dollars went. One of the things that we've been doing is we've been tracking legislative bills, which is a monumental task, even for a large city with a large staff department. But we've been doing that just because there's just a lot of new bills out there, and we need to be aware of those. And there's quite a few that are going to impact the way that we approach different things, including development in the community. So once all those bills have been signed, we'll probably put together a little summary and come back to council with that discussion. There was a capital improvement bill that was passed, and our representatives and mayor and council worked on that application as well. And we did receive in that request our $4 million wastewater funding request. Now, of course, it's not complete until the governor signs it, and that hasn't been done yet. So I don't think we can make, like shoot out a public announcement and say, it's a done deal yet, but it's pretty obvious that the governor will most likely sign the capital funding bill, but I think we need to wait until that happens, then we can put together a public announcement. But again, that was a lot of work to leverage that, and we work closely with our representatives and continuing to trying to buy down the cost of that wastewater project to our community. And then we are working on budget preparations for next year. I know we typically don't see that at the budget committee and council level until May, but staff actually starts in February and March. A lot of work goes into preparing the budget proposal for the budget committee, and so we're working on that. I just want to let you know that there's always more workload than we almost can manage, but we somehow seem to do it. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I don't have any questions. I am knee deep in legislative bills all day. Probably too much. Does anyone else? I'm sure there's gonna like be a trickle effect that will affect us later as these bills get passed. And we'll have more questions and we'll weed all that stuff out.
Yeah.
If that's it, we move on to number 8, mayor and councilor reports. Is there anything to report from the council?
Want to do my annual PSA for everybody to make sure you get your ethics report in. It's kind of been the thing the last couple of years since I kind of got myself in a little bit of a snafu with the state on, as far as turning in my report in time, that I've kind of just let everybody know and encourage everybody to get that done. I think this Friday is when I think it opens, and I think everybody will get like that little, obligatory email saying, hey, click on this link and file. So there's that. I plan on, of course, helping with Easter egg hunt coming up. I'll probably do the thing I usually do and just show up in the morning and help throw out as much stuff as I can, and else that's interested to come. And then I'll be also attending the state of the county as well coming up.
That's right, we have the state of the county. I just bought my lunch tickets for the state of the county too. There's some free tickets as well for general public. I think there's limited seating. When I got my tickets, there was 38 general seating tickets left. And about 100 seated tickets. So I think those are really good. It's kind of like the State of the Union, but it's local, so it's more impactful. For me, it has more meaning.
To add to Nico's mention of the ethics committee, that is going to be the 15th, which is Friday. And if for some reason you don't receive a link from them, let me know. It means I probably need to update your contact information. Maybe I made a typo, so just let me know and I'll fix it.
Is there anything for good of the order? We have no correspondence and there is no executive session, and we can go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 7:23 p.m.